Hello everyone, welcome. Thanks for liking my videos and subscribing to my channel. I do appreciate it. Here I am walking on the streets of Cebu City in the Philippines. Today's video is going to answer one of my subscribers' questions. And I will talk about, is the Villages an HOA? And why are they not an HOA? Let's take a walk, friends, and talk about the Villages, Florida. One of my subscribers, her name is Debbie, recently made a comment on one of my videos about the Villages. I will read her comment and then we will discuss the answer, and hopefully we can answer her question. And her comment is this: if the Villages is not an HOA, then what is the $199 monthly fee for in the listing of the home that's listed on Zillow.com? Are you expected to cut your own grass? And that is her question. And her question revolves around, why is Zillow listing the $199 monthly amenity fee as an HOA? And the simple short answer is that there is really no other spot for the realtors to put the amenity fees. And it kind of boils down to a deeper question. If the Villages is not an HOA, then what is it? And I will read to you from a website of an attorney that's located in Florida. The Villages is a community development district. A community development district is an independent special taxing district created under Chapter 190 of the Florida state statutes. A CDD is a type of government entity usually created at the request of a developer of large tracts of land, tasked with planning, financing, constructing, operating, and maintaining certain infrastructure like roads, streets, lighting, utilities, and amenities in a planned development. The CDD is governed by a board of supervisors elected by landowners within the CDD. A CDD also allows the cost of certain improvements to theoretically be spread over the life of the issued bonds. By comparison, a homeowners association, or HOA, is a private corporation responsible for the operation of an individual community in which the voting membership is made up of parcel owners or their agents or a combination thereof. I also found another definition of a community development district on a website called Blue Matter. They describe a community development district as a type of government entity that provides infrastructure such as roads, utilities, and amenities to a planned unit development. Most planned communities have a CDD, which means they normally have a desirable amenities, possibly activity staff, and community-sponsored events. A CDD allows the developer to finance the costs with a CDD bond through tax-free municipal bonds. That is basically a loan that is repaid by the homeowners. And that is your biggest difference right there, friends, between an HOA and a community development district. The community development district allows the developer to create a governmental entity that then can take out a tax-free bond, aka loan, to finance the infrastructure. And then it allows that developer to spread those infrastructure costs over to the homeowners. And that is the difference between a community development district and an HOA. And the realtors in and around the villages will typically list the amenity fee in the HOA area of the listing. And that's because the multiple listing service typically does not have a separate area they can put community development district fees. So typically what you're going to see on a multiple listing service is you're going to see that the realtors will input the monthly amenity fee into that field. They describe it as an HOA fee, but it is not. It's actually an amenity fee. And that is just one of the several fees that the villages charges its residents. And because the villages is set up as a community development district, they parse out the infrastructure costs. They finance those infrastructure costs by issuing bonds over 30 years. And I've done several videos that talk about the bonds, the bond interest rates in certain communities. And everybody should be aware of that. So the major cost elements that you need to worry about when you're in the villages is, number one, the bond. If you're buying a home, whether it's new or existing, that home may still have a bond balance on it. And you need to check with your real estate agent if that home has a bond, what the balance is, and how many years it takes to pay it off. You can choose to pay the bond off in full if you want, and some homeowners have done that. And if you buy a pre-existing home, that home may not have a bond balance on it. If that's the case, typically the homeowner will increase the price of the home at the time they list it for sale to cover the costs that they paid to pay the bond off. And that's why sometimes you will see pre-existing homes in the villages, very similar homes in similar neighborhoods. One will be priced higher than the next. And one of the reasons could be is that one of the homes has a bond on it and the other one does not. The home without the bond most likely will be priced higher than the home with the bond. And the bond is the amount that you pay for the infrastructure, that is putting the roads in, putting the storm in, sanitary sewers in, putting the light poles in. That's what the bond covers. And that's one of the major cost elements you need to worry about or you need to consider when moving to the villages. The other cost element is the amenity fee. And the amenity fee is most closely associated to an HOA fee. And I think that's why the realtors are putting the amenity fee in the HOA fee bucket on the multiple listing service, is because the amenity fee acts and is very similar to a traditional HOA fee. That's a monthly amount you're paying for the use of the amenities, the swimming pools, the executive golf courses, the tennis courts, the pickleball courts. And that typically is what an HOA fee is. You're essentially paying to use the amenities and for the general upkeep of the community. Which brings me to the next major element that the villages will charge its residents, and that is the annual maintenance assessment fee that is charged once a year. It is found on your property tax bill. It is a pass-through charge. The villages calculates your maintenance fee. They send that fee to the respective county that you live in. Most villagers live in Sumter County. Sumter County will then place that fee on their tax bill as a non-ad valorem fee. It is located toward the bottom of your tax bill. Those fees range anywhere from $200 to $900 a year. Those maintenance fees are for the general maintenance and upkeep of the residential district that you live in. Those maintenance fees are what the district board has control over, and they annually create and approve the budgets, and those budgets are essentially for the maintenance assessment fees. So living in the villages as a community development district, they have more detailed and more cost elements to their fee structure than a typical HOA. An HOA will have a monthly fee. You pay it. It's a private entity, partially owned by the homeowners. And it's more simpler. The villages has more cost elements. Number one was the bond I discussed. Number two is the amenity fee I discussed. Number three is the maintenance assessment fee, which I discussed. And number four is what they call a fire fee. That's an annual fee you pay. That is on your tax bill. That's also a pass-through fee. The villages calculates it. They send it to the respective county. They put it on the tax bill. Right now that fee is running about $300 per year. That really is covering emergency services and your fire services. And that's a fee that you typically don't see in an HOA, because the HOA will combine all those fees into one fee, and they call it an HOA fee, where the villages parses them out. And the reason they're parsing them out is because they're formed under state statute chapter 190 in Florida. And the major benefit is that it allows the developer to finance the expansion through tax-free municipal bonds. And the CDDs are really intended for large development projects like the villages. That's why the villages is formed under a community development district. The key term and the key phrase to understand is that it allows the cost of certain improvements to theoretically be spread over the life of the issued bonds, rather than including the costs in the price of the initial home sale. And I think that's really the reason why the villages is formed as a CDD. It is due to financing issues and somewhat a marketing issue, where you can buy a home and you can finance the infrastructure over 30 years. In most other developments throughout America, the developer develops a community. They include the infrastructure costs in the price of the land. Here, the developer can lower the price of the homes, but they finance the infrastructure and charge you annually over 30 years. That's how long a bond is taken out for typically. So back to the initial comment. Why is the $199 fee listed as an HOA? It's because it's convenient for the realtors to list the amenity fee there. The amenity fee is a monthly fee that's most similar to an HOA fee, but it's not an all-inclusive fee because you have bond fees, maintenance fees, and fire fees. So you need to be aware of that. The other question the subscriber asked, are you expected to cut your own lawn in the villages? The answer is yes. You are expected to cut your own lawn. Most villagers will contract with a local landscaping company to cut the lawn. I pay $50 per month to have my lawn mowed. My landscaper comes in once a week, mows the lawn for $50. It's very inexpensive. They do a good job. There are a lot of landscaping contractors in and around the villages. You should not have a problem finding one of those. And that's another reason they're formed as a CDD. The villages does not want to get involved with being responsible for mowing the lawns of the homes of 140,000 people that live in the villages. It'd be just too much to control and to manage from a village's point of view. There you have it. That is the reason the villages is formed as a community development district and not as an HOA. I did give you some of the reasons and the differences between. The major differences between the CDD and the HOA is that the CDD is a governmental entity and HOA is private. The CDD allows the developer to finance the infrastructure by issuing bonds. That's the major differences. And the control of the CDD is transferred from the developer to a board over the first 6 years of formation of the district. I hope I cleared things up for you. You need to do a lot of your own research when you move to the villages because there are more fees than just the monthly amenity fee. It is the bond fee, the amenity fee, the maintenance fee, and the fire fee. You need to know those. And altogether, the amenity fee, the maintenance fee, and your fire fee would be equivalent to your HOA fee in a traditional HOA. And there you have it. All the way from Cebu City in the Philippines. Thank you for your comment, Debbie. I hope I answered it. Have a great day. Have a safe weekend. Take care, everyone.